Hi guys, Nigel with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. If you saw my review of Wednesday the 4th of October 2023, then you would have seen me talking about this kit which came in today. And quite glad I got it. Absolutely stunned to find that Hannants still had them in stock, and £195, and I thought I've just got to get myself one, so ordered it and it arrived today. So beautiful. I haven't looked inside the box, I haven't been anywhere near it. It's I've got the G1 version, which I think is pretty much the same, other than it's got wheels rather than floats, and I reviewed that back a while ago if you want to go and look at that one. But the boxes seem to be identical. So first of all, beautiful as usual, beautiful Wingnut Wings artwork. We've got the Wingnut Wings logo up here, which is kind of embossed in the chrome and everything there. You can see the chrome shining, and then we've got down here the actual name of the bird herself. Gotha UWD high quality scale model kit set, and it's in 1/32 scale. You can see this beautiful hand drawn logo that Wingnut Wings always use. So what have we got in the box? On the sides we have some words. You can stop and have a read of that should you wish. That's all very nice. And then we've got a picture of the versions available in this kit. There were only ever one of these made, so there is one version and one version only. So you might want to do a what if, but there we go. And then there's the rest of the words there. End of the box. I don't think I could get into the camera now, but basically you can see it's just pretty much the same as what's on the front. And on the other side of the box we have sort of health and safety stuff and what's in the box and everything. You see here 2019 Wingnut Wings. One of their last releases, this was, with all the different languages on there. And there's the kit number there, 32053. So the Wingnut Wings website is still up and running. If you want to go on there, you can find out details about this kit. You can view the instructions on there. You can view hints and tips. You can view errors in the instruction, everything. So as I say, Wingnut Wings is still up and running as a business as far as I know. So what have we got in here? It looks like we've got some damage, to be honest. These bags are looking a bit dented. So we've got, what Wingnut Wings have done here, they've got all the sprues are individually bagged, or pretty much individually bagged, I'm sure. And they've got one big bag. So obviously when it comes to packaging, what they probably do is have these delivered from China in these bags, and then probably got their own packaging sorted in New Zealand. So that's probably why. And then as usual, Wingnut Wings, you can see here we've got more dents on this plastic, so I'm looking, there's probably going to be some damage on this kit. So I may have to forward this video to Hannants when I claim for a new model, we shall see. But yeah, sorry, as I was saying, as usual, Wingnut Wings, they have engine sprues, which aren't sort of, you see this one here, 1/32 scale, Mercedes D3. Okay, so this engine and propeller layout will appear in many different kits. You can see there's the Hein, this is the Axial, this is the Neindorf, and this is the Wolf. So we're going to have at least 2 spare propellers, or 4 anyway. So there we go, and then we've got all the different engines, and you can see on here we have 160, 180, 200 for this segment. We have 200 for this segment. We have 180, 200 for this segment, and we have 160 for this segment. So you can see this is the 160 sump. Okay, this is the 180 and the 200 sump, and then this is the cylinder block for the 160, the 180 and the 200, and then going on from there. So very, very cleverly done, very well thought out. I always say Wingnut Wings, probably the best kit manufacturer in the world, the best instructions without a doubt. Beautiful decals, beautifully designed, thoroughly researched, and just awesome. And the reason I'm making such a fuss about this kit is I think I'm right in saying that as far as a shop is concerned, I think this is the last Wingnut Wings kit you can buy from a shop brand new in the UK. As I say, it's £195, which is very reasonable. £195 for any model kit is not very reasonable. However, when you see the little kits that used to be like 79 New Zealand dollars going for £250 now, then it makes it quite cheap. It's a big old bomber, so it's good. So we've got the instructions there, we've got the decal sheet. I'm not going to get the decals out because they're sealed. We've got some photo etch there, so you can see we've got some photo etch seat belts, and then we've got a photo etch cooler jacket for our gun. which I will show you how to do. I've done that before. You can roll it, solder it, and it becomes a really solid little piece. So first of all, I think what we'll do is have a look at the instructions, and I'm going to get my lights sorted out so we're not glossing you out everywhere. Okay, so those of you that haven't seen a Wingnut Wings instruction manual before, get ready for a lovely surprise. If only other kit manufacturers made manuals like this, then we would all be very, very happy bunnies indeed. So on the front of here, we've got basically the picture that's on the front of the box, 1/32 scale. Lots and lots of words all about the aircraft. And then here, we've got some notes about colouring and stuff from Richard himself. Richard Alexander was the, I believe he was MD of Wingnut Wings, and he is now the MD of Qatari, you know, the Spitfires and everything they make. So he's a great guy. He's a very, very keen modeller. He was Peter Jackson's right-hand man as far as Wingnut Wings were concerned. Peter Jackson, yes, him of film fame. He's the guy that owned Wingnut Wings, or owns still Wingnut Wings. So yeah, Richard Alexander, his research, his stuff, he's written books. He did the Lancaster book that you've seen me use. He's done the lots of other bits and pieces, and the instructions are just something to behold. And it's nice to see that Qatari are following on the same sort of thing. So going into the instructions here, we have basically our legend here, which is all the different symbols we use. We've got some warnings here. We've got some tips about building and rigging and all that sort of thing there. So that's all there for you to read. We have paint call-outs here in Tamiya, Humbrol and our Federal Standard, which I think is absolutely awesome. And here they have some mixes. So here you can see you've got very light grey, semi-gloss, so it's X2, which is gloss white by 10, plus XF9, which is matte grey, very light grey by 1. So that'll give you a very, very light grey, very, very light grey actually. And then here you can see a very grey overpaint matte, so that's X22, which is, that's clear. And then XF times 10 and XF19, which is 1. So that's going to be like a thin, a very, very, a very slightly grey clear. Very unusual. Have to wait and see what that's all for. Here you've got our sprue callouts. As I said, I think just now, this is a follow-on from the G1. And you can see we have certain parts in here that aren't used. So as you can see, we got, in fact, there's 4 propellers there, so we're going to end up with 8 spare propellers because there must be propellers somewhere else. Is there another sprue call out? Nope. There must be. There we go. There's your propellers there. So you've got 2 propellers there. So this kit actually has 10 propellers in it, and you're not going to use 8 of them. So there you go. And you've also got lots of spare engine parts as well, which would be great if you're into Grubleys and sci-fi and all that. We've got your decals there as well, and we've also got unused decals on there. So there we go. So I'm not sure why they're unused. Probably something to do with the ailerons. Maybe they didn't have the cross going onto the underside of the ailerons or something. I don't know. We shall see. So into the manual. As I say, if you want to see this being built, go over to model kit stuff. Jason's done a bit by bit build. You can see straight away in here we have come along to the floor, the control column, the seat, and bulkheads and everything, and we're going to build up basically our bare cockpit. And you can see straight away we've got detail. There's a 3D CAD image there of a safety belt, you know, found in German aircraft, how to paint it, how it looked. Here we've got a storage case, A13. A13, where is A13? Where is A13? There it is, storage case, and there's a picture of the real thing. So detail from the German Navy aircraft equipment photo on page 14. So as I say, over here they tell you all about the references they've used. Yes, references, there you go. References across the bottom here, and there you're giving you the references and they're referring to the references there. So you can see you've got the commander's compass and document shelf. We've actually got some books here with the paper, open paper, pens and pencils and everything on there. As I say, it's absolutely stunning. And then we're adding the side panels in here. Got the instrument panel with the wood paneling there. Real shame actually, because it's a shame they don't give you these bezels separately to glue on, or actually give you the panel that goes over some raised bezels or something, because getting the wood grain on there would be a nightmare around all those bezels and everything. I may take a mould off it and then file that, or just cut a plastic sheet the same size do the wood grain and then sand this away until all you've got left is the bezels, and then stick them on the sheet, maybe. Who knows? And then we've got the fuselage front struts here, so we have some bits and pieces sticking out the bottom, which is going to be quite weak, probably, but no doubt it's been well thought out. As I say, these are designed and made by modelers for modelers. And then coming over the page here, we have a detailed interior painting guide. So for example, when you see stuff like here, there you go, you've got N and D. Okay, so that's telling you to paint those batteries in N and D, and N and D is XF76 and D is black semi-gloss. Okay, so you're thinking like, why is it saying that? Am I going to mix them or what? What's what? Come over the page, you can see here the outer is N, the inner is D. Okay, so that's what this is for. This is like your reference for what's going on here. Your control wheel, K and N. Okay, so you're thinking K and N. What's K and N? K and N is an air filter, isn't it? K and N is light wood and grey-green. So when you look on there, you can see you've got a wooden rim and the grey-green interior. Alright, so there we go. What are they recommending for grey-green? XF76 is what I just looked at, which is that lovely pale green colour, which is a bit lighter than cockpit green in RAF aircraft. And then here again, Wingnut Wings all over, we've got the control wire rigging for our controls. So it's 0.15 both the way through. Absolutely awesome. You can use stress brew, you can use easy line, you can use the stuff from Infini, whatever. I've got all of it, so I'll probably use it all. I actually do want to build this, believe it or not. Oh, I don't know. See, it's difficult to cut into the bags of Wingnut Wings kit. Okay, so we've got 10 kilogram carbonate bombs. I think they actually threw these out. They didn't actually drop them, they actually chucked them over the side. And then we've got some more bombs here. We've got decals going on the bombs. And you can see it's all being loaded out in the sides of the fuselage there. And then we're adding the fuselage floor in. And then putting these two halves together. And very much like Airfix do, they're showing you the last bit you're going to do. This is the bit you're dealing with. That's the bit you're dealing with. But Airfix show you the last bit, how it looks when it's on there. So we've got some reference photos here, genuine photographs from the period. Remember, there's only one of these aircraft, so all the photos are going to be genuine. I don't believe there's any, it's not restored or anything. So you can see some details here, and they're telling you some paint colours and everything for it. And then we're going to build up the rear fuselage. We've got all that supports inside, telling us to drill some holes for some rigging. Top going on. And then you're going to attach that onto the tail of the fuselage. I should imagine this is quite a big fuselage actually. And then here again we've got decals going on, and it's telling us the position of all the decals around those holes we've drilled where the rigging is going to go through. So absolutely brilliant. Then we're on to building up the engines. They're 160 horsepower Daimler Mercedes D3 engines. So you've got the prop shaft going in. We're adding on the top of the crankcase, adding on the cylinders. They're in two halves. And then adding on the camshafts and the rocker boxes to the cylinders, adding on the water pipe around the outside, and then down onto the tubes for the spark plugs. That's the conduit, and that's all going down onto the block with the front cover going on there. And then we're up to here, and we've got the tower shaft going on. I'm assuming that's going to be where the water pump is, and we've got an air pump going over here telling us to remove a bit. You've got the inlet manifold going on the side there, and then we've got a firewall with the engine cradle in there. And then we've got some painting instructions for our engines, and again we've got a photograph of the real engine. Building up the wings here, you've got these flat central with dihedral on the outer end, and that's only on the lower wing, as you can see here. So they're telling you to stand it upside down. And then you're going to build up your engines with their control rods going on. Absolutely amazing. You've got the sides going on. I guess you could leave them off if you want to. I don't know, we'll have to see. I mean, go and watch Jason's video, I'm sure he will have covered that. And then you've got the radiators going in with the water pipes feeding the engines, exhaust manifolds going in. Again, they're telling you what colour to paint them. And then here we've got more detail of how the engines, how they were very close to the fuselage. So building up the radiators there, drilling some holes, adding some side panels here. And then we're adding some struts, interplane struts onto the lower wing. Okay, you may decide to do it differently than this, but this is how they're telling you to do it. And then you've got some ailerons going on. You've got the balancers going on as well. and then you're adding in the upper wing, adding the ailerons to the upper wing, and then you're going to add those all together onto the lower wing. Okay, so all very nice indeed. So you've got the lower wing is a solid one piece now, with the it's going to have some struts on it. Remember, the fuselage sits between the upper wing. You've got this great big gap. So they're telling you, like, again, tips on how to have it down on your bench flat, and then have the outer wing on there like that. Building up the floats, adding the floats before you even add the fuselage. I think this is the stage Jason is now with his videos. I'm sure in real life he's got it finished. Adding in some more struts. It all looks like it's going to be extremely strong. And you've got some beautiful images here, real life images. That is actually sat on a train cart. If you go look on the Wingnut Wings website, you'll see images of it sat on a train cart being moved around. And then more struts going in there. Adding on their propellers. We've got the bomb dropping tube, proboscis, looks like it's called. So that's going in, that's where they throw the bombs down through, I guess, to make sure they miss the propellers. And then we've got some fin and rudders and our horizontal tailplane there, and the elevators. We've got some struts going across. That's all going to be quite flimsy. Probably best leave that off until the end. And then we're building up our machine gun. So we've got a plastic machine gun molded in one piece that you can just paint and add on, or you can go for the high detailed version where you've got the barrel there and you roll the cooling jacket. You've got the drum going on there. So if you're going to use this one, you just jump straight to that and don't do the photo etch. If you're going to do this, and then you're going to add your barrel and everything on there, and you've got your stand going on. Got another bomb there. There's another 4 bombs. There's bombs everywhere on this thing. Here's an anemometer. So what's really nice about, again, with Wingnut Wings, they're telling you what all the parts are. It's like old school Airfix and all that, when they used to tell you what the parts were. And you can see here is an actual image of a Parabellum gun. Here's some of the equipment that would have been carried in the aircraft, and you can see here they've got letters to show you what the parts are in the aircraft, in the kit that you've got. Now here's an image of a G1. Is that a G? That is a G1 by the look of it. It's got wheels. I'm sure that's a G1. Very, very similar to this aircraft. You can see there's the G1 there. But so ugly, it's absolutely beautiful, if you know what I mean. So there's some lovely images there. And then going over the page here, I don't remember actually adding the fuselage. What was the bit where we added the fuselage? Oh, here. Just all of a sudden, here's the fuselage. So I completely missed that, sorry guys. So that's adding it in there. So it's going to sit on those struts down there, and obviously sit in these struts on the sides. So as I say, Jason's at that point now. So here you've got a rigging guide, which is absolutely wonderful. So here you've got it sort of looking sort of up, so you can see how it's all going into the upper wing. You've got the bits coming across. The green wires are control cables and the blue wires are bracing. And then here we've got the looking sort of down from the back, so you've got the different angles. I think there's more images as well actually on the Wingnut Wings website, if you go take a look. So that's really nice. And then going over the page here, we have some images of the real aircraft. We have the real aircraft there in flight. And you can see those stars do not go onto the ailerons, so that's why they shaded out the ailerons. Gotha UWD 120 is shown here in flight, reported on its way to bomb the English coast on 19th of March 1916. Note the window cut into the nose, proboscis bomb dropping tube, and heavily discovered rear of the fuselage. Discoloured, sorry, rear of the fuselage. So there we can see, actually, aircraft actually flying. It's hard to believe it actually ever got off the ground, isn't it? So here we have some lovely CAD images, typical of Wingnut Wings, beautifully done. And then they've got all your decal placements, your alternate colours you might wish to go for. And as you can see, it's just gorgeous. You've got all this wood grain everywhere. Wood grain all over the nose, wood grain on the tail, wood grain on the floats. This would look really nice sat next to a that one. Hans of Brandenburg W12. I remember seeing that in a review. Not in a review, on the Wingnut Wings website they showed a picture. I remember seeing it because I've got that one. So there's the monoplane, Hans of Brandenburg W29, and that's the W12 biplane. So this would look great parked up next to that. So there you can see that lovely green colour. So what is it? J. What colour is J? Is that over white dope? Field grey, XF22. So that's RLM 03. Yeah, that's that RLM colour. So very nice indeed. It's going to be a very attractive model when built. I've never seen one built. Jason's will be the first I ever see. And here we go, we can see, here's the aircraft actually in the water on its floats. Again there, you've got some guys working on it, whatever. And then here again, we've got it on a trolley. So that could be something you could scratch build there. And here it is again, sat on the trolley. Beautiful nose on view there for your for getting your idea of scale and everything. So those engine cowls, are they actually white? They look as though they're actually white. Really nice. So it says G there. G, very light grey. Yeah, so that's going to be like an off-white colour. Very attractive model actually. Very attractive model indeed. So, without further ado, let's have a look at some sprues. So as I say, we've seen the decals. I'm not going to open those. I've got two of these sprues here, and I'm only going to open one of them. I want to see before I open it if they've got any damage in here. I can't see any. I don't like it when I see the bags all beat up like this. So that one looks okay. That one over there. This one also looks okay. I did notice the front of the box had a sort of bit of a kick in it. So we shall see. I know I need a new knife blade, so this knife might play up. So let's have a look in here. So as we can see, let's get the light back on now because we don't have the problem of glare and everything. So typical Wingnut. Remember we saw this on the main footwall. We had this corner piece here. But beautifully crisply moulded. Feels a bit oily. Looks like it's got oil on it there as well. It does feel. It's almost sticky. So yeah, we've got propellers here with the lobbed off ends. As you can see, as I told you, the way these sprues are done and thought out, it's absolutely brilliant. So they could just use this same sprue in any kit that had any variant of this engine. So really, really nice. But, beautifully done, absolutely stunning. You can see we've got all the bolt detail on the main crankcase there. So yeah, really lovely. And these propellers, none of them get used. So we'll put this away. Nice to know they haven't got big wrinkly bags. So here's our big bag, which is our Gotha UWD. So let's have a look at this. So we shall see if we've got any damage in here. As I say, if we have, I can send a link of this video to Hannants, and I'm sure they will sort me out, because Hannants are good as gold. Remember I got that ME323, wasn't it, the Gigant, and I had two right hand sprues or whatever for the two right hand fuselage halves. They sorted me out, no problem at all. So I'm just going to look at each bag before I open it. I'm going to look for damage, because if it's damaged they'll probably want it back in a sealed bag. But that's all looking okay. Looks like we've probably got something amiss here. It looks like we have some snapped parts, and I can't see any loose bits of plastic in there. I'm just going to turn the camera off a sec and see if I have actually got something missing there, because it certainly looks like I have. Let's have a look and then I'll come back. Okay, one other thing I forgot to mention, if you notice these sprues, they're all sized to the box. They are the same size as the box. If I get the box here, you can see, remember when Airfix did their 148 Sea King, they made a big fuss about having the sprues the same size as the box. And that is so that when it's in shipping, it doesn't all rattle around and get damaged in the box. And something Wingnut Wings have always done, and I wish all manufacturers would do it. As we know, some Revell kits, they got a bag like this in a box about 4 foot long, so they always get damaged, don't they? That is absolutely amazing. When you look at that and you see these sprue gates here, and you see these two bits of plastic sticking out here, and you see this piece here, you would instantly think, wouldn't you, that's broken. So missing. Nope, that's how it's supposed to be. So that's quite incredible. So very nice indeed. Got some very, very fine parts. We've got a tiny bit of flash down here. Nothing to worry about. It's absolutely minuscule. But yeah, that one's That one's broken there, but I'm not going to worry about that, blimey. Yeah, so but there we go. We've got fuselage halves here. These are the outer of the forward fuselage halves. Very slight texture on the plastic, which is nice. It's nice for paint and everything, unless you want a really polished finish. It's not like the Airfix 124th Hellcat. It's just very, very slightly, if you can pick it up on there, it's very, very slightly grainy. You can see those bombs there with the grab handles on them. Really nicely done. This is the, I'm assuming this is the top side of the floats. So that's all nicely done as well. You can see how big it is. There's a float over my hand. It's bloody huge. So there's part of the cockpit floor. Again, that has that graininess to it. All very nice. We've got some canvas there on that bulkhead. But just look at how crisp it all is. How beautiful it is molded. Really, really gorgeous. Really, really lovely. I do love Wingnut Wings. Everybody loves Wingnut Wings. I don't think anybody dislikes them. I saw some comments the other day regarding Wingnut Wings, and someone was saying about the instructions are overcomplicated, and I kind of understand what they mean, but you know, when you compare, let me show you something. When you compare, I mean, this is the instruction book for the Meng Fokker triplane, and I've used this because it's basically Wingnut Wings. When you could look at this, you can imagine what the manual would have looked like for this kit had Wingnut Wings released it and not Meng. You can see here we've got images of the real thing. None of that here. We've got CAD images here of the actual seatbelt, the colours, images of the real thing here, all the different decal placements and everything. Here we've just got MC colours, the Meng's own colours, which won't be a very good match, I doubt very much. And I think some of them are actually incorrect. And you can see here bringing the floor, the upper area with the ammo bags and everything, and the sides together, and that's it. Whereas on this one, you know, you've got your everything coming together. You've got all these images here, you've got the control cables going in, all the different colours to paint and everything, showing you how it all is assembled. Whereas this is, you know, it's not a patch. Here you've got the bombs and everything going in, bringing the fuselage halves together, bang. This is just bang, you know. So it's they're not really, they are more complicated. There's a lot going on, but they do actually say read all the instructions carefully before starting assembly. So, you know, they are forewarning you. It's a complex model. It's not for beginners. Definitely, there is not a Wingnut Wings kit out there for beginners. I guess the Fokker triplane would be the best if you want to get into 32nd scale World War I aircraft, because it's one, the cheapest, and two, it doesn't have very much rigging. So here we go, we got another sprue here. This is sprue D, and I'm assuming we've got two of these. Yes, got two of these sprue Ds. So here we've got the bottom and the sides of the float. I have some damage there. You can see that very, very slow. I'm not going to worry about that. We have, these are engine covers here. Engine fronts. We've got some struts here, our radiators with some beautifully moulded on grills. And here's our tail planes. Rudders aren't made separate, but you could I could bend them in the sprue, so you could easily position them if you wanted to. We have a looks like a compass there, but very, very nicely done. We've got ejector pin marks on the insides of here, so they'll probably want some work if you're going to have these covers removable. I'm not even sure if these parts are removable. We've got some more bombs here. They're moulded in one piece. I have a bit of a seam line to clean up on them, but nothing much to worry about. Exhausts here. So obviously this is all particular to the UWD, I'm guessing, and then you'll have your G1 will have these sprues particular to the G1. So yeah, very nice, very beautifully done. Very happy with my purchase. So there's that other sprue D. Okay, here we have some clear parts, and these are double bagged, or they've got sticky film on them, I'm not sure. So I'm not going to get them out. but there's basically clear parts in here, which is quite unusual really for Meng. Sorry, not Wingnut Wings, because obviously World War I aircraft didn't have a lot of clear parts. But these are some observation windows, obviously looking at the bottom of that, I'm guessing. And there's a bit of a screen there for the pilot or something. So that's all very nice. And then here we've got another massive sprue. So this is going to be our rear fuselage section. Again, I'm going to have a look at this to see if it's damaged before I open it. All looking good. Okay. I'm sure Hannants will sort me out anyway. If there's any issues, as I say, they are good as gold. They're a very good supplier, Hannants. They don't always have the best prices, but they have great packaging, great service, quick delivery, really, really good. And fantastic range of stuff. So here's another part of our cockpit floor. This is our main centre section. Our engines are going to sit on there. You can see how close they are together. The size of my hand, you can see they're really close together. And then we've got bulkheads here. We've got ailerons there with a washout on them. They've got like a, you can see they've got a curve to them on the back edge. It's here we're looking, guys. See, they've got a nice washout on them. We've got the rear section of the fuselage, stitching along the bottom. As you can see there, very nicely done. And then we've got this sort of area where it goes into the main fuselage section. The control wheel there. Got some moulded on off buttons there, some more levers and stuff. These are all parts of the cockpit. I think there's that bag that they were showing us with the open part on it, and you can see something down inside there. So it's lovely for painting. It's going to be great. We've got the seat base, and then we've got the instrument panel there with the controls on the side. You can see how flimsy all that is. It's beautifully moulded. As I say, unfortunately, you've got to try and get some wood grain on there somehow. Maybe best to use a decal. And then here we've got another thing about Wingnut Wings. They tend to have one-piece wings. You can see here we've got the ribbing detail and the texture on there for the fabric, and then when you turn it over, ribbing detail, texture for fabric. They don't have wing halves going together. Same with the ailerons, they're one piece. Absolutely gorgeous. And that is possible all because they control their moulding process. If you take it out of the mould too quick, you're going to get distortion, warping, whatever. They leave it in, let it cool, let it set, job done. So yeah, very nice. And this is one of the problems, you see. You know, people keep asking, will the moulds reappear? If the moulds do reappear, and someone like Hobby Boss, say, got hold of them, or like you can see with the Meng triplane, you know, you can't guarantee you're going to get the same quality because they won't want to run the same processes that Wingnut Wings ran. Let's look for damage again. There's some damage there on the trailing edge of that wing. I'm sure that can be fixed. I'm sure I can deal with that. Let's have a look. Yeah, very nice indeed. We've got all these little raised areas for the cables to come off. We've got our tailplane there with elevator all in one piece. Tiny bit of flash on the back edge. We've got that bit of damage there on that wing. I'm sure that'll go back down. Get the end of a knife blade or something. Something metallic, something hard that's not sharp. Just sort of roll that down. That'll be fine. That will be absolutely fine. That'll come down. So there we are. As we can see, it's all very, very nicely done indeed. You can see how thin that trailing edge, by how easy that's got damaged. You can see how thin that trailing edge is. It's razor sharp. You could almost cut yourself on that. It's I'll show you how sharp it is. Watch this. I'll probably eat my words now. I haven't tested this, but I reckon I can rip that masking tape neatly off that. Yeah, I'm eating my words. I thought I'd be able to rip that easily over there. No. But it is bloody sharp. Wow. Same on these here. These are our lower wing sections. But as you can see, they're all beautifully done. Very, very nice indeed. Shame about that damage. You can see that there. Really, I should get back to Hannants, you know, because it is a £200 kit at the end of the day. But having said that, what are they supposed to do with it? You know, they can't go back to Wingnut Wings, can they? But, I'm sure that'll repair. I'll get some boiling water and that'll come back, and then just run some extra thin in there, it'll be fine. So we're modelers, not assemblers at the end of the day. It's almost gone back flat now, look. Right. So there we are. Again, it's got that lovely texture on it. It's gorgeous. It also looks, I'm thinking it looks like quite a simple kit. There's not a lot to it, is there? I mean, it's got, what was that, 4 or 6 sprues? And I don't think it would be a majorly long, troublesome build. I think what I will do when I put this back in, if you remember, those engine sprues were at the bottom of the box, and it's them sticking up that's done that. So I think what I'll do is put this back in with these at the bottom. So that can go back in there. And then this one can go above it, because that one's fairly flat. That's not going to do any damage. And then this one, yeah, these 2 D sprues. See, there's 2, 3, 4. There's only 5 sprues, yeah, without the engine sprues. So it's not actually that much to it, to be honest. So if we can put that in there, why doesn't it want to go in? It's catching on that bag, that's why. I'm just trying to see, to show you guys, if you get one, you might be able to change the packaging regime to make the kit a lot less likely to get damaged in your stash. And then that one can go in there, like so, and it should sit on top of those floats, yeah. And then this can go into the box like that. There we go. And then our 2 engine sprues can sit either side, and our clear sprue in the middle, and that is much less likely to damage anything. And we put our decals in our instruction book, and there we go. That is a far better way to package that model. So what you might want to do, if you're going to get one of these from Hannants, you might want to ask them if they will open the box and just lift out the main bag, and these 2 engine sprues are underneath. Ask them to put them on top, okay? Because it's these here that have done the damage to that wing. It's obviously had something put on top of it in shipping or something. I'll repair that wing, I'm not worried about that at all. Some people would be, I'm not. It's not going to bother me whatsoever. So that has been the review of that ugly but beautiful Wingnut Wings Gotha UWD. Go get yourself one. If you ain't got a Wingnut Wings kit in your stash, you'll have one, and it will probably never go down in value. Probably. As I say, this is probably the least most popular Wingnut Wings kit out there. But the fact they've still got 10 left or 9 left means something, I guess. So go and get yourself one. Have a look. Thanks for looking. Bye for now.